This video is sponsored by Amazon Coins. Amazon Coin is a digital currency that is available through the Amazon App Store where you can download your favorite games. You can purchase Amazon Coins to use it to get several items through the Amazon App Store. Now you might be wondering, why not just spend regular money? You see, Amazon Coins has a nice bonus added to it. The more you purchase, the greater the discount applied to the sale, so you potentially get more mileage out of the money you spend. For example, if you'd like to get 50,000 Amazon Coins, it's normally at the price of $500. But Amazon Coins has its own discount applied to it, slashing the price down to $400 instead, a 20% discount. There are multiple packs of different discounts, so feel free to take a look and pick what appeals to you. In order to get access to Amazon Coins, you must be using the version of the game downloaded from the Amazon App Store. So make sure your current account is bonded beforehand on your current version of the game. Then, after downloading the game from the Amazon App Store, load your account back on to regain your progress. This way, you can now purchase Amazon Coins. So if you're a spender looking for ways to get more out of your money, consider Amazon Coins. This is a pretty useful feature that can help you if you're budgeting, so if you're interested in this, make sure to use the link in the video description as it supports this channel. Thanks again to Amazon Coins for sponsoring this video, and speaking of which, let's get back to it. Chow is a good boy who deserves the best of head pats. I read his bio. He saved a king's life from an assassin, but died. But he still saved everyone. Oh, what a cute, he's so cute. Divine Beast Chow's Trustmaster reward is a light shield with a lot of spirit and an additional 40% boost to fire and dark resistance. His Super Trustmaster reward is a materia that boosts spirit by 70%, gives 5 Limit Burst crystals each turn, and boosts Limit Burst damage by a whopping 100%. Now we have had materias that boost Limit Burst damage by 75%, and those were incredibly great. So obviously the common man would go, herder, must get materia. But hold the phone, this is my reveal, and I say, yeah, very nice, he is a good boy. The difference of 25% can be pretty significant nowadays. To put it into perspective, there are many units that can hit around 2/3 of the Limit Burst damage cap without trying, but since there haven't been many materials that reach 100%, it often demanded a mix and match of various equipment to get that boost. But now with the best dog's materia, you can just throw it on and leave more room for other stuff. The Limit Burst regen is also incredible, especially since there aren't that many items with a regen as strong as that. And the spirit, yeah sure that's good too. But who's the best boy? That's right, it's you! Onto his active abilities. Chow has some magic spells: Libra, Dispelga, Kuraja, Full Life, and Re-Raise. Good stuff. Full Life can be awakened even further apparently, so it fully restores your team. But I don't have Chow at the moment, so I can't confirm. Guard Dog activates a strong magic cover and the HP barrier that scares off your morale. Kind Protector activates a provoke buff, gives Chow a 75% physical and magical mitigation buff, and then restores a fraction of Chow's HP and MP. Encouraging Light boosts your team's accuracy by 50%, their light resistance by 100%, and their dark resistance by 80%, and then boost their light damage by 30%. Encouraging Fire is slightly different, surprisingly. This one lowers your enemy's accuracy by 20%, and then switches the word light with fire. Most Loyal of Hearts cures any status ailments on your team, boosts their resistance to said status ailments, activates a HP barrier that scares off morale, and restores some morale which rises with the number of human units in your team. Unfortunately, this doesn't include Slime or Chow, but it does include Riser, so it's a pretty good ability. True Guardian's Blessing removes any breaks from your team, then grants them resistance to said breaks, stop, and charm, then gives them a 60% physical and magical mitigation buff. Then there's their morale thing, which works the same way. Guardian's Holy Flame requires Chow's Limit Burst gauge. It boosts one ally's fire and light damage by 45%, then fills their Limit Burst gauge by the same amount as Chow's. Focused Inspiration boosts your team's stats by 300%, grants them a 60% magic mitigation buff, gives Chow a 80% magic mitigation buff, then puts on another 50% magic mitigation buff against beasts and fairies, and then there's their morale hokey pokey. Courageous Sacrifice removes any elemental imperils from your team, boosts their elemental resistance by 100%, gives them a full re-raise buff, and then Chow sacrifices himself to fully restore your team's HP and MP. But thankfully Chow has a re-raise buff, so he'll be back soon. Passives. With his Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Chow gets some extra defensive spirit, raises his equipment spirit by 200% when carrying a single weapon with or without a shield, gets 3 guts buffs because this dog is great, and his normal attack changes to Bringer of Wealth, which restores a portion of your team's HP and MP, their Limit Burst gauge by a small amount, and fills the morale gauge. He has a small boost to his Limit Burst gauge fill rate, a 30% boost to physical evasion, and a 50% boost to magic evasion. He prefers to carry a shield, has a camouflage boost for whatever reason, and has a counter. The counter deals light magic damage that scales off his spirit, restores a fraction of your team's HP, and fills their limit burst gauge by a small amount. Chow also has another counter ability. If we look at Divine Doggy, we see that it's the same thing but restores MP and morale. Chow also has an automatic magic cover, but it is significantly weaker than his regular one. At EX plus 2, he gets an instant limit burst. At EX plus 3, he gets 500 spear. Let's look at its limit burst. It activates an ultimate cover, a HP barrier that scales with morale, and lets your team evade 4 attacks. Time to change forms. Divine Beast Chow has a true Brave Shift, which has no limitations whatsoever. Onto his active abilities. Chow's attacks deal light magic damage which scales off his spirit and your morale. Chow's main event Chains of Stardust Ray, gives Chow a HP barrier, and fills his limit burst gauge by 1/4. Chow's fun time Chains of Floating Strike, restores a fraction of his HP and MP, then fills his limit burst gauge by 1/4. Chow Condemnation. Chow Condemnation? Chains of Chaos Wave Awaken, and you guessed it, limit burst gauge rises by 1/4. Prosperous Light grants Chow a powerful beast and fairy magic killer, raises his light damage by 50%, then fills his limit burst gauge by 1/4. Bestowment of Courage can be used twice per battle, but it requires Chow's limit burst gauge each time. It boosts your team's limit burst damage by 250%, fills everyone else's limit burst gauge by a huge amount, and strengthens the damage modifier of Chow's limit burst. Passives. They're pretty much the same, but he switched to automatic cover for this ferocious looking thing that you'd probably expect to see on Carton. Either way, it grants him a powerful magic killer against beasts and fairies, grants resistance to stop, boosts the chain limit cap by half, his limit burst regen so it's 1/4 each turn, and raises his limit burst damage to 2/3 of the cap. Let's look at his limit burst. It reduces the enemy's staff resistance by 25%, their light resistance by 130%, raises Chow's spirit by 300%, boosts his limit burst damage by 300%, and then deals a single strong blow that uses light magic damage. Yeah, you heard the spiel. Let's rank Brave abilities. Raise them all. Guardian of Prosperity to boost his stat buffs, Focused Inspiration to boost the stat buffs and the mitigation levels, and Canine's Instinct to raise his killer buffs. Time to make a damage rotation. On turn 1, activate his Brave Shift. Quadruple cast Chow Condemnation. On turn 2, cast Bestowment of Courage, Prosperous Light, and double cast Chow Condemnation. On turn 3, activate his Limit Burst. On turn 4, quadruple cast Chow Condemnation. On turn 5, activate his Limit Burst. On turn 6, quadruple cast Chow Condemnation. On turn 7, cast Bestowment of Courage, Prosperous Light, and double cast Chow Condemnation. From here, you'll alternate between his Limit Burst and Chow Condemnation. So, EX2. Chow's EX plus 2 unlocks his Super Trustmaster reward, which is extremely useful. It also grants him an instant limit burst, which base form is really for desperate defense, while Brave Shift lets you use Bestowment of Courage a turn earlier. EX plus 3 is just Spirit, which helps him tank and deal damage, which is pretty good. If it weren't so expensive. So how good is Divine Beast Chow? His base form is an incredible defensive supporter that's also a strong magic tank. He's also a healer and he's good at that too. It's hard to say what flaws this dog has, but sure, I can nitpick. Elemental resistance should have covered everything by 500%. Horrible, just horrible. And this, only one turn? Stupid move. But yeah, all jokes aside, he's really good. His defensive support is strong, he has amplifications because why not? He has an automatic cover, and he's cute. His second form is damage, and there's no way this compares to his first form, right? But no, this form's also really good. In terms of damage, he doesn't match a full potential Angela, which no one really does. But he does kind of match the strength of summer magic units, which is a thing I wouldn't have thought to say in January. He also has a number of popular chaining families, though not everyone can quadruple cast of him. Now with that being said, he is also locked to light, like everything about him deals light damage, which may or may not be optimal depending on the battle. So both forms are very strong, but what if you put them together? Many a unit has failed to excel because of this, but as it turns out, he's pretty good here too. With a true Brave Shift, transition is seamless, and since his second form also relies on his spirit stat, he won't immediately shatter when he goes up to serve as a tank. Of course, if this is going to come into play, it's important to make sure he has the elemental resistance to survive, which could potentially cut into his damage, depending on your inventory. Still, for what it's worth, excellent unit, super cute sprite. I wish I could pet him. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you got Divine Beast Chow. At first I was going to skip since they gave me a free Chow, but how can I say no to another face like that? Robots with big damage are one thing, but dogs are the one that will truly have your back. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?